Hello friends, now let us take up the concept number 3.6, understanding algorithms. In the previous concept, I explained the phases in the program development process or project development process. The first one is understanding problem domain as well as solution domain, and the second one is analysis. The outcome of analysis is the logical plan. Logical plan means nothing but a notional idea to achieve the task. The third phase in that is algorithm. In this concept, let us focus on the algorithm and what are the variants in the algorithms also. Actually, what you can understand about the algorithm is nothing but well defined steps, well defined procedures of implementation of the logical plan, well defined steps involved in implementation of the logical plan. This algorithm is literally described. That means we write it in English or some other language. This is in human language. Computer language knowledge is not required here. So, in this there are three variants. First one is algorithm, second one is flowchart, third one is pseudocode. Algorithm means already I explained to you. This is a description of human language steps of implementation of a logical plan, and all these steps are one by one described in the human language. They are well defined steps. There should not be any gap and there should not be any ambiguity. So, clearly defined steps we have to write. Thereafter, we have to understand flowchart. Flowchart is nothing but demonstrating the logical plan using graphical symbols. This is nothing but graphical representation of the implementation of the logical plan is called flowchart. For a flowchart purpose, certain standard symbols are created. Each symbol represents one type of activity, and using by composition of those symbols and all that, the flowchart is drawn. Then it is highly readable. If you know the symbols and all that, by reading the flowchart, you can easily understand the implementation of the logical plan rather than the algorithm what I am telling. The third one is the pseudocode. This is also one type of algorithm, and what is the main difference between algorithm and pseudocode is, in algorithm every step is defined in English. The logical plan is dissected into descriptive words, descriptive steps and all that. Pseudocode actually is closer to the program. Whatever logical plan is there, that is described in English only, but those terms are very close to the coding. So, actually pseudocode comes between, it is intermediate description between algorithm and the actual program. So, you can understand that pseudocode can be easily converted into a program rather than an algorithm. That we have to understand. In next concept, I will explain the clear difference between algorithm and pseudocode. Actually, algorithm may be a new term to you and all that. If you are a beginner programmer, the term may be new, but in our day-to-day life, every time you are implementing algorithms. Already in this chapter, in previous concepts, I explained human program. Human program is set of activities. Every day, from morning to night, we implement several programs. You go to a hotel for taking breakfast. You go to a provision shop for purchasing provisions. You go to college for studies. All these are programs. For implementing all these programs, we have to implement several steps. The description of all these steps are called, the description of all these steps in a sequential order is called algorithm. That I already explained to you. So, you may not know that, but your brain knows that. Your brain knows that if you have to implement a program and all that, immediately your brain develops an algorithm, and all the steps in the algorithm you implement very sequentially. Just for example, you have to take breakfast by going to a hotel. So, what is the algorithm? Taking breakfast in a hotel. Then you get ready, you lock the room, you go to the hotel, place order for the tiffin, eat the tiffin, pay the bill, and coming to room back. Understand? That means to implement this program, simple program of breakfast, you implemented grossly 7 steps. Who developed it? You never think of it, but without your knowledge, your brain develops an algorithm and instruct your hardware, that means your organs and limbs, then you implement it. You get ready, you lock the room and go to the hotel, place order for the tiffin, eat the tiffin, pay the bill, coming back to room, open the lock and sit in the room. Like that, your brain develops the algorithm. That means without knowing this term also, every time you are implementing several algorithms, or otherwise take any activity, whatever you are doing, simple activity or big activity, and if you analyze that, you can understand what is the algorithm in that. Now, once again, for the sake of more enlightenment, I give you the previous example only, and however, I want to enlighten you more on this concept. Suppose you want to withdraw money from the bank. Now, which steps you implement? Write check. Go to the bank, go to the counter, give the check, collect cash, count it, keep it safe, come home. These are the steps you are implementing. This is a simple thing, withdrawing cash from the bank. Then you are implementing, write the check, go to the bank, go to the counter, give the check, collect cash, count it, keep it safe, come home. These are the 8 steps you are implementing. So, in this way, if you start thinking, actually, already I told you, programming is not overnight job. Nobody become a programmer overnight. Continue your mind, some threads should work on that. So, you start analyzing every activity. Then, once you are able to analyze the activity, whatever you are doing, then automatically it will become a habit. Now, programming task also analyze. Here, one thing I have to tell you, these are simple 8 steps. If I ask you, write the algorithm, means you may not write all these 8 steps. But your brain knows, your brain every time implement this type of steps. But if I ask you to write steps, some of the steps are missing. No doubt about that. And here, what I am telling you, if you develop this bent of mind, then automatically your analytical power is improved, sharpened. Then you can refine it in a fine manner. Okay, this is very much required. Here, why this is very much required? You have to deal with the computer. Already I told you, computer is a brainless machine. how to deal with the brainless machine, you must describe each and every step in a meticulous manner. Even a simple step is missing also, it cannot be implemented properly. And all the steps should be in a logical order. That is an essential feature. Why it should be in a logical order? Suppose just in this example, with reference to this example I am taking, go to bank and go to the counter. That is the logical order, and give the check. Give the check, go to the bank, go to the counter is not an order. Or go to the counter, go to the bank and give the check is an order. So all the steps should be in a sequential order. As a computer is a brainless machine, this type of clarity is not enough. Much more clarity is required. We have to explain each and every step meticulously in its language. For this purpose, this algorithm is there. It should be further refined, further subdivided. Just one example I show you. A right check. Simply one step I have written. It is one of the 8 steps. Now, when you are developing a computer program, how it should be divided, right steps? It should be, actually from real life I am explaining this. Try to understand the spirit of the concept. This right check, simply view that. Now otherwise you write the algorithm for this step. Further subdivision. Now we see, open the drawer, open the drawer, take the checkbook, open the checkbook, remove your pen from the pocket or pen stand, open the cap, or write the check, remove the leaf. Now you see, this type of analytical brain you should have. If you have to become a real designer, real programmer, then this much of analytical power you should have. Then you see, one step, simple step. If I ask you to write these steps, some of the steps you miss, but you implement it. Your brain knows. That's why you make it as a habit. Whatever activity you are taking up, programming activity or non-programming activity, any activity, then you develop this analytical power and write the algorithms clearly. Okay, now we see, open the drawer, take the checkbook, open the checkbook, remove your pen from the pocket or pen stand, open the cap and write the check, and remove the leaf and close the pen. In this way, you have to write the steps. Ultimately, all these steps are converted into computer programming language instructions. So, this is, you must have this knowledge about algorithms. After this, you have to understand the characteristics and advantages of the algorithm.